Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Today I'm going to be running some more T4 Abyss to get some more dank ISK, and there's a reason for that. It's because I'm saving up for a Paladin. So you see here my wallet is not as big as it was before. That's because I bought that really expensive EOM skin for 1.9 billion ISK. The ship right now I'm trying to get at least is this Paladin over here. I might make some final tweaks to fit when I actually buy it, but this is sort of the concept I'm going to go for. Costs 1.6 bill. So this is a mission running fit, just really good mobility with the MWD and the micro jump drive, because the micro jump drive is boosted from Marauders. They have a very low cooldown on it. So to do this, I have to get ISK because I've obviously not got 1.6 bill. So I'll be doing some T4 Abyss to get that in the wallet. So let's go. We're in G2 right now. I'm already in my safe spot actually. I just already got here beforehand. I was watching a video in the meantime. So let's go in. Let's see what we get. Hopefully we get some good loot. I've actually been doing quite a few besides off camera as well, and I haven't actually been getting that much good luck. I got one good sight where I got actually Kikimora blueprint, but otherwise it was not actually that great. Many of these like 20 mil rounds, maybe sometimes 30 mil, 20 mil. Actually, I think I got one 19 mil. So I've not had the best of luck as per usual, but it is what it is. You don't always get what you want in the Abyss. The Abyss is the Abyss, not Abyss. Abyssal Dead Space. The Abyss is RNG central, and it's always good to deploy my drones because I can't forget to deploy my drones. If I forget to deploy my drones, I'm not going to shoot anything. So we've got a bunch of these Triglavians over here. I'm going to go for the Starvings first just to get a bit of neuters off. Also because the Dynamics go so fast, they get to me close, so I'm easily able to apply damage to them straight away. Then I'll go for the Vedmax because the Vedmax, you know, as per usual, they have the most amount of DPS in them. Go for the extraction caches while we're shooting these fools and just double check, because always is a good important to double check that you've picked up the loot. It has actually happened quite a few times that I pick up the loot and then the server lags so that it doesn't actually pick up. Then I've just noticed that, wait, I'm 100 kilometers away and we've got loot cache that's not been looted. Oh, just waste so much time like that. So always double check that you pick up the loot. Actually, this is really something that can save you a lot of time. Alright, let's go for this Vedmak over here. Love DPS in that Vedmak, and when he dies, it'll go easy. Actually, I've made some tiny alterations to my fit, if you haven't noticed already. So this is my usual T4 running fit, Gila fit. The only difference is I've added an auto-targeting system, and there's not actually a particular reason. Like, it's not like it's a really good that I have it. It does help a little bit, save you a tiny bit of time with targeting, but the main reason is just that I don't have any other fitting resources to use. I cannot really. It's just free. It's like for free in terms of fitting resources, because I've got so little fitting resources and I've got this empty high slot here. So I thought may as well just put this auto targeting system. It can save me a few seconds when it comes to locking up things. I don't need to lock up things. I'll just automatically lock stuff up. Like, you got this free fitting space left, and you can always just slap an auto targeting system in case, because it uses hardly any fitting space. It uses only a few CPU units, hardly any power grid at all actually. What does require a lot of power grid is the advanced weapon upgrades 5 actually, or that allows you to have a lot of power grid, because that skill is a skill that I really needed to get the Marauder. You see this Marauder over here that I was talking about, the Paladin? Marauders need the skill called advanced weapon upgrades 5. This one over here, and it took 1.5 million skill points you need to be able to fly these ships, and it just took me forever. But it is a pretty useful skill because it gives you a lot of power grid, so it's still very worth it to actually train it, because it benefits every ship you fly. Like, every ship you fly obviously uses power grid, so those are kind of skills I think are actually important to train. Like, ones that affect lots of ships is really good to completely max them out, even if they maybe take a lot of skill points. If it affects all the ships you fly, like especially these kind of fitting skills, it still is pretty worth to train, because you won't really lose anything. I mean, you will obviously lose a bit of time that you could have trained on something else, but you'll always have some use of that, and it will not be like, sometimes you can train a skill and then you just really regret it. For example, I've seen some people on the Evil Line Reddit, actually, they said, for example, oh, I trained Marauders to level 5. So the Marauders to level Marauders is the skill you need, one of the skills you need to be able to fly. It's specific to like the Marauder ship, so specific to the Paladin. You can see Marauder bonuses. And some people sort of train to level 5, and it takes a really long time to get Marauders to level 5. And you don't really unlock anything particular to getting it to level 5. The only reason to have it level 5 is just because you get better stats from these Marauders. So it's not that useful of a skill compared to, for example, Advanced Weapon Upgrades 5. So I remember someone on the EVE Online Reddit saying, oh, what are some skills you guys have trained that you regret? And one of them was like, oh, I get Marauders to level 5. I think it's like 2 million skill points you need to be able to get Marauders to level 5, and it only affects one ship in the game. Meanwhile, you could have trained meanwhile, you've got like a skill like Advanced Weapon Upgrades 5 that affects every ship. So it just depends. Like if you're flying a lot of Marauders, it's definitely worth to get to Marauder to level 5, because if you're using something a lot, then you obviously want to be the best at it. For example, I have the cruisers to level 5. I don't at all need cruisers to level 5 to be able to fly the Gila, but the Caldari and Galenta ones. But it's really beneficial for my ship to be able to run these sites quicker, because I get more DPS and a tiny bit more shielding. So it'll make the site running a lot swifter, a lot faster by training my Caldari and Galenta cruisers to level 5. You can see here, if we show info, see here traits, Galenta cruiser, Caldari cruiser, we get a bit of bonus to missiles and also the thermal and the shield resistances. So those are, it just really depends on what you're doing, but it always pays off to be able to train those skills that you just use, and just everything you can't go wrong there. Alright, let's go to the next cache over here. It's pretty easy waves to go so far. The Vedmak wave was very easy because there was no any severe E-wars in the Vedmaks. I noticed that, you know, in the Triglavian invasions you can find these liminal Vedmaks that do extra DPS. So I think that's because the liminal ones, the liminal Vedmaks, they have missiles as well. So I think that's why they do extra DPS. Always just their base value, like damage values, are just cranked up by a certain percentage. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that they have missiles at least, so maybe that does play a role. And that's something actually you won't find in the Abyss. It's very unique to the Triglavian, so I don't know why. Maybe they will add them at some point, but interesting that there are some Triglavian ships that are unique to invasions, and I think that's kind of cool at the same time, because it kind of creates, like, you know, unique kind of ships for certain ships. You also got all these like Hospodar, you've got these Raznaborgs, you know, all those kind of guys. The Raznaborgs is just kind of recon Triglavians that seem to be patrolling often these belts. Like those guys, I hate them. When I mine, I don't mine so often, but it's a good activity just to relax a bit. And the thing is, with mining, you know, it's relaxing as long as you don't have some Raznaborgs on your tail, because the Raznaborgs will mess up your mining ship. They will insta-blap the drones. Like, I often, when I'm running the mining anomalies, or not anomalies, but the mining and asteroid belts, then the asteroid belts, they will, you know, obviously you've got your asteroids that you're mining, and then you've got your drones out in case any pirate ships spawn. So these drones that I have out there to be able to attack pirate ships. Now, if I'm, for example, watching a video at the same time when I'm mining, then I'm not paying super much attention to my drones. Like I don't go fully AFK when mining. It's not really a good idea to do that, because you can get ganked by players. They're actually, like, you know, these guys called Code or whatever, they gank miners, and if you don't pay enough attention, you can get ganked. Like, they'll, for example, bump you and make you not mine stuff. Also, that's a way they can, like, troll miners, so that you bump people away from the asteroids. So the thing is, the Raznaborg Damaviks, those fools, they annihilate my drones so quickly, so that I don't even have enough time to react. It's really difficult. Alright, let's go to the next wave here. More Triglavians. So we're getting a bunch of Triglavians here, and it seems like we've got quite a bit of horrible E-war, but at least we've not got so many Vedmaks, only 2 Vedmaks. The thing is, Vedmaks, they're scary because of how their E-war is really strong. Their starvings, their neutralizing capabilities are very strong. We're going to take out some of these anchoring guys, because I want to take them out so they can't hold me in place. So we'll take this guy out here. Then we'll probably go for the Starving Vedmak, because a lot of DPS and neuting power is coming from him. The Starving Vedmak has one of the strongest NPC needs you can have. I think the Starving Leshak does quite a bit more, but there's no usually the Starving Leshaks, or the Leshaks in general. They come into the site, or they spawn in at a very long distance, and they have very little HP. So often you just deploy your drones, because they're so far away, their neuting power won't be so strong, and they're also quite slow, so it's quite easy to outmaneuver them. So you will not really get close and neuted that much. Unless, if you get close, obviously they're going to be neuting crazy amounts of Leshaks, but the Leshaks have very little HP, so they do go down very quickly, so it's not really much of an issue. The only problem it can be if you are in a ship that is not like the Gila, that is instead a ship that is very, like, brawly type, that is very close range. Those kind of ships will potentially will get killed by the Starving Leshaks because of how they just nuke like crazy at short range. I used a Purifier at one point, and the Purifier in the Abyss is not like a really amazing idea, but it can work. And I once went there to a Starving Leshak, and I was at close range because I was thinking like, oh, you know, I'm gonna be sneaky, I'm gonna just orbit this guy at 500 just so I can out-track his guns or get into his guns. And that was not a good idea because the Leshak just annihilated my capacity in like one cycle. You know, one circular cycle of the Leshak just nuked my capacitor straight away. And it didn't really matter because my Purifier was still able to out-track him even with normal thrusters, but my MWD that I was using turned off. And that was a bit unfortunate because, you know, if there were other things there that could hit me, or if that turning off of the MWD would have made me not able to kite, for example, if there was some other small stuff, then it would have been problems. But since it was just Leshaks, it was not that much of an issue because I could still out-track them by just orbiting with normal thrusters. But that's just goes to show how strong the Leshak nukes can be. Also, I remember, you know, the T5 rooms where you can get like the Dreadnought rooms. Those guys can be pretty scary because you can get a lot of Leshaks there, and actually you can get a lot of Starving Leshaks. And sometimes I once remember, many times it's happened that I've been the system or the strategy I used to take on those sites is that I kite them. So I kite the Leshaks in the Dreadnought room, in the T5 Dreadnought room, that is. And the thing is, when you kite them, they're going to obviously approach you to try to get in range. Now, the thing is, if you kite them too much, you'll eventually be pushed out of range because you're keeping a distance of 70 kilometers, but they'll be able to get to you slowly but surely. So you'll eventually be at the point where you're at the boundary box, and sometimes they can actually get dangerously close if you don't pay attention. And it has happened a few times that they did actually get close to Starving ones, and they did nuke me like crazy. Like one cycle, like half my capacitor was just gone just like that. So Starving Leshaks, guys, are nothing to underestimate. Do not underestimate them. They can seem very easy with their low HP, but they do not estimate them because they can kill you, or at least in terms of your capacitor. Obviously, if you're using your fully passive Snake Gila with the shield recharges and the shield power relays, you're not going to have so much issues there, but you can have troubles if you've got an active tank or you're using like multi-spectrums with a passive tank. So just be careful. Be careful with the Starving Leshaks. Alright, that's it for this site. Let's see how much we got from here. Let's walk back to Jita actually, so we can just sell our way and see how much we get. 36 mils, so not the amazing jackpot kind of room, but you know, it's not that bad either. We could get like the 20 million range. That is really bad. 30 million is like meh. 40 mil plus, good. 30 mil, meh. 20 mil, boo. That's really crap. Okay, let's go to the Jita Trade Hub. We got all these fools with the kill rights outside want to maybe gank me sometime. I know that there are many people out there who want to gank me. I have gotten some threats about ganking actually. Oh, I'm gonna gank you, Ace Face. That's something I have to give into consideration. I have been actually having to take a bit more precautions since I've been making YouTube videos because I feel like I'm getting to become like a high profile target for these gankers, and I do not look forward to my next gank because I have been ganked quite a few times actually. Alright, 30 mil, so I mean it's alright, it's meh. It's male loot, you know, male loot. You can get the really yay loot, but this is male loot. So 30 mil, just like that, and I think we were 10 minutes. We were pretty fast on that clock actually. 10 minutes, 30 mil. I'm pretty happy with that. So that's it for this video. We have finished another T4 site, making our way to 1.6 bill ISK to be able to get my Marauder. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.